I think that like throughout time, right? Kids, like if you even look at the last 100 years, kids grew up in a variety of really scary times, whether it was World War II or, Vietnam or, the Cold War in the 80s. So I try to think to myself, like, my kids could take this. Like, shit, there were kids that in the 40s were like, the Nazis could be coming and taking our street.
Yeah.
They were in the 70s. There were people, having their doors knocked and people getting drafted. And the kid that was your babysitter was now drafted and being sent away with a gun in his hand to go fight a war.
Yeah.
So like,
yes.
Is this the hardest time? I don't know that you could say yes. That seems like a hard case to make. However, the stuff we're dealing with is certainly the most grave. So it's sort of like, how do you square that? How do those kids in the 40s and the 70s deal with this crazy world around them? And what can we draw from that about how our kids will deal with this AI world?
Yeah. I mean, those are great questions. And I think you have to, depending on the age of the kid and their developmental level, because some of it, I kind of try to meet them where they're at with it. You can't fire hose them.
So my vision of the future is pretty dark.
Yeah. I wouldn't tell them all that. I leave it a more
right. That is the question.
Here,
that is how do you carry the darkness, and how do you share it? When do you share it with young people, and in what way?
I think we need to find the hope ourselves, because you're not going to be able to give your kids hope if you don't have any yourself. So we need to find the hope. And my hope I find in unity, that belief. I have faith in unity, and connection. And that's where I say, I'm trying to get my kids to focus on that and to say, that is the way. The unity is the way, and you need to be a force of unity. And I try to teach them how to love and accept everyone. Like, I don't want to hate anyone. That's my personal goal. I want to rid myself of all hate and only have love for as many people as I can, and try to role model that for my kids.
Sure. Fear is a motivator, though. And as we try to wake the world up to this most serious challenge where we have no time, and, it's the fourth quarter, we're down 72-6, and we don't know how much time is on the clock.
Yeah. Well,
I guess I feel like this desire, right, to like wake everybody up and be like, oh my God, look what's going on. And part of that includes the kids, right?
Yeah.
Because I think until like a vision I have would be awesome as a kid goes to school, learns something at school, comes home and says, Mom, what is AI alignment?
Yeah.
And mom goes and Googles it. And then, that starts like the conversation in the house.
Yeah.
So it's like, how do we engage society at all levels, including our young people, in the question of our time, without depressing them, freaking them out, giving them hopelessness?
People are so busy. They're so overwhelmed with the day-to-day stuff. They do not have the bandwidth left to tackle an existential challenge that they have no idea what they can do anything about. So, I think it's like, I have my friends, when I spell it out, they're, I get different. It's like, I see what you're saying. I don't have time for it. And the other is, it causes so much fear that they will not allow their minds to go there, because they don't have the resources, the bandwidth to deal with it in any way. So you do the ostrich effect thing of like, where, but part is it's a function of our evolutionary heritage, is that we evolved to solve basic problems of survival: food, shelter, water. We didn't evolve to deal with an existential challenge. Only a mammoth, or a saber-toothed tiger. I mean, that was not on our radar. So we're having to force our brains to solve problems that they literally did not evolve to deal with. What I tell my kids is that, hey, AI, very powerful tool. I think it's going to be changing rapidly. It's going to change the world. And we need to be very skillful as we move forward and to use it for good and to not let it undermine our happiness. I say is that even though technology keeps changing, this is an overarching idea. What makes us happy hasn't changed in thousands of years. We are chasing digital red herrings of happiness through our devices. They are psychological dead ends of happiness. We have been asking the wrong question about screens the whole time. It's not how much do they harm us. It's how much do they make us happy. And on that, the two sides of the screen time debate would actually agree. Screens, in general, do not make us any happier because we did not evolve to derive happiness from screen-based interactions. So not only don't they make us happier, they can't make us happier. Otherwise, we'd have the happiest world we've ever seen, and that's not happening. So you've got,
and it's because the dopamine. Like, why do I feel the reflexive need to keep constantly looking at my phone if it's not giving me happiness? What does it give me? It's like crack. It's
pleasure.
Just me,
it gives you pleasure.
Sugar high.
Pleasure. It's like eating potato chips. You know, it tastes good, but it actually doesn't improve your health.